With the departure of Frodo and Sam towards Mordor, the Fellowship of the Ring was shattered. Gandalf, the company's leader, appeared to have perished in the mines of Moria. Boromir lay dead, slain by the Uruk-hai, who captured Pippin and Merry. This forced Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli into a relentless pursuit, leading them to the Riddermark, realm of the Horse Lords. From this desperation, a new purpose for the Fellowship emerged, as Rohan desperately needed aid. In the depths of Moria, Gandalf faced the Balrog of Morgoth at the bridge of Khazad-dûm. Both plummeted into the abyss, Gandalf burned by the flaming entity before plunging into an icy lake. The fight continued as the weakened Balrog fled up the endless stair to Durin's Tower. After a brutal 10-day battle, Gandalf struck down his foe, ending Morgoth's hateful legacy. Exhausted and broken, Gandalf's body succumbed to his wounds, but his spirit, as an Astari sent by the world's creator, was restored with greater strength. Found by Gwaihir, Lord of the Eagles, he was brought to Lothlorien, where the elves healed him and bestowed white robes, marking him as Gandalf the White, chief among the Astari. Lost in the crags of Eamon Muil, Frodo and Sam were ambushed by Gollum, the former ring-bearer. Frodo, guided by the same pity that spared Gollum years earlier, refused to kill him despite Sam's urging. Instead, Gollum swore an oath on the ring to serve Frodo and guide them. With his help, they navigated the Dead Marshes, the site of the ancient Battle of Dagorlad. The marshes were treacherous, but Gollum's hidden path kept them safe from the searching eyes of the Nazgul, who flew overhead on fell beasts, hunting for the ring. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli arrived in Rohan, a realm altered by Saruman's treachery. King Théoden, once a promising ruler, had grown old and weary after 40 years of rule. His counselor, Grima Wormtongue, secretly served Saruman, poisoning Theoden's food and corrupting his mind, weakening both king and kingdom. Grima's counsel of retreat left Rohan's countryside defenseless, with Théoden confined to his palace. The defense of the realm fell to Theoden's son, Theodred, and nephew, Éomer, but Saruman plotted to crush this last bastion of Rohan's valor. Saruman targeted the Fords of Isen, the critical crossing point for his armies. Theodred, learning of a small enemy force that had crossed, led a swift victory on February 23, 3019, destroying the intruders. Displaying tactical acumen, he stationed troops to defend the fords. However, on February 24th, Theodred, aiming to preempt a larger Isengard force, marched with 8 cavalry companies and bowmen. Unbeknownst to him, Saruman had set a trap. Theodred's forces crushed an initial orc contingent, but were ambushed by a larger host. Surrounded and outnumbered, Theodred retreated to a hilly islet in the Fords, where he was mortally wounded. Grimbold fought to save him, but Elfhelm's timely arrival with cavalry from Edoras turned the tide, scattering Saruman's forces. Theodred died, urging his men to protect the Fords until Éomer's arrival, and was buried where he fell. After Theodred's death, Erkenbrand of the Westfold assumed command of Rohan's forces, leaving Helm's Deep to lead the defense at the forts. Grimbold and Elfhelm held the line, but Saruman's next assault in early March overwhelmed them. Grimbold's infantry made a last stand at the forts, expecting Elfhelm's aid, but Ward Riders cut off support. Forming a shield wall, Grimbold's forces held briefly before retreating under heavy losses to join Erkenbrand. Rohan now lay vulnerable to Saruman's invasion. While battles raged at the fords, Éomer and his Eard tracked Uruk-hai and orcs carrying Merry and Pippin to Isengard. The enemy, divided between Saruman's Uruk-hai, led by Ugluk, and orcs from Moria and Mordor, led by Grishnak, quarreled over the hobbits' fate. Éomer's scouts spotted them, and his riders hemmed the enemy along the river Intwash, pushing them toward Fangorn Forest. Encamped on a hill, Ugluk's forces were surrounded. At dawn, Éomer's riders attacked, slaying Ugluk in a duel and scattering the enemy. Merry and Pippin escaped into Fangorn, where they met Treebeard and Gandalf the White. Éomer met Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, providing them horses before returning to Edoras. For failing to capture the trio, he was imprisoned. Aragorn's tracking skills led them into Fangorn, where they reunited with Gandalf. Recognizing Rohan's dire state, Gandalf summoned Shadowfax and hastened to Edoras. There, he exposed Grima's treachery, freed Éomer, and healed Théoden. Though Gandalf urged Théoden to ride against Saruman, the cautious king chose to lead his people to Helm's Deep. Gandalf, foreseeing the need for greater aid, rode to rally Erkenbrand's scattered forces, promising to return at dawn on the 5th day. With Saruman's forces massing to crush Rohan, the stage was set for the decisive battle of Helm's Deep. The Rohirrim, bolstered by Gandalf's return and the leadership of Théoden, Éomer, and Erkenbrand, prepared to face the coming storm.